The sun was just beginning to set over the quiet suburb of Maplewood, casting long shadows across the freshly mowed lawns. Betty Thompson, a spirited woman in her early 60s, stood on her porch, her eyes tracing the familiar outline of the old picket fences and the neighbors' houses, each holding its own story. It was the late 1970s, a time when life moved at a different pace, and the simple joys were cherished more deeply. Inside her cozy home, the aroma of freshly baked apple pie wafted through the air, blending with the sounds of laughter from her grandchildren playing in the backyard. Betty poured herself a cup of coffee, savoring the warmth that spread through her hands. She glanced at the family photo hanging above the mantel, a snapshot of happier times, capturing birthdays, holidays, and everyday moments that now felt like treasures. As she sipped her coffee, Betty reminisced about the days when evenings were spent gathered around the television, watching the latest episodes of beloved shows like Happy Days and M.S.Ch. The radio had been her constant companion during long drives, with hits from Fleetwood Mac and the Bee Gees filling the car with music that defined a generation. She remembered the excitement of neighborhood block parties, where friends and family came together to share stories, dance to vinyl records, and enjoy homemade casseroles. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. The 70s brought their share of challenges: economic uncertainties, political tensions, and the ever-present fear of change. Yet amidst these struggles, there was a sense of community and resilience that bound everyone together. Betty recalled how neighbors supported each other during tough times, whether it was helping with repairs, sharing a meal, or simply offering a listening ear. As the twilight deepened, Betty felt a surge of gratitude for the life she had built and the memories she had created. Little did she know, a new chapter was about to unfold, bringing both unexpected challenges and newfound joys, reminding her that the spirit of the 70s and 80s was still very much alive within her heart. As the twilight deepened, Betty felt a surge of gratitude for the life she had built and the memories she had created. Little did she know, a new chapter was about to unfold, bringing both unexpected challenges and newfound joys, reminding her that the spirit of the 70s and 80s was still very much alive within her heart. The familiar sound of the mailbox rattling broke her reverie. Curious, Betty walked to the front door and retrieved a thick envelope adorned with colorful handwriting. It was an invitation to the Maplewood Annual Community Fair, an event she had cherished since her early days in the neighborhood. The fair was not just a celebration, but a testament to the community's enduring bond, featuring local bands, homemade crafts, and a wide array of food stalls that brought everyone together. Unfolding the invitation, Betty noticed a special request. The fair committee was seeking volunteers to organize a new section dedicated to intergenerational activities. Her eyes sparkled with excitement at the prospect. Betty had always believed in the strength of connecting generations, understanding that each brought unique perspectives and talents to the table. Embracing this opportunity, she decided to spearhead the project, envisioning workshops where grandparents could share stories, teach traditional crafts, and mentor the youth in various skills. However, alongside her anticipation, a flicker of apprehension surfaced. The project would require significant coordination, and Betty was well aware of the challenges that came with mobilizing diverse groups. She pondered over the logistics, securing funding, recruiting volunteers, and ensuring that the activities were engaging for all ages. Doubts crept in, but her resilient spirit, honed through decades of navigating life's ups and downs, urged her forward. Determined to see her vision come to life, Betty reached out to her neighbors, sparking conversations that rekindled old friendships and forged new ones. Together, they brainstormed ideas, drawing from their collective experiences and strengths. The community responded with enthusiasm, reflecting the very essence of Maplewood's unity that Betty cherished so deeply. As days turned into weeks, the plan began to take shape. Betty found herself invigorated by the collaboration, discovering hidden talents among her fellow residents and witnessing the blossoming of intergenerational bonds. Through this endeavor, she unearthed deeper insights into the importance of community resilience and the timeless value of shared experiences. The challenges she faced only strengthened her resolve, reinforcing her belief that together they could create something truly meaningful. The Maplewood Annual Community Fair was fast approaching, and with it, the promise of a vibrant celebration that would honor the past while paving the way for a harmonious future. Betty stood on her porch once more, looking out at the neighborhood that had been her anchor, ready to embrace the new chapter with open arms and a heart full of hope. As the days dwindled to mere hours before the fair, Betty immersed herself in the whirlwind of preparations. Mornings were spent coordinating with local schools, senior centers, and various community groups, ensuring that every detail of the intergenerational section was meticulously planned. The air buzzed with anticipation, and the streets of Maplewood seemed to hum with a shared purpose. One crisp Saturday morning, Betty organized a meeting in the town hall, bringing together children eager to learn quilting from their grandparents, teenagers ready to teach coding to the elderly, and parents keen to bridge the generational gap. The room was filled with laughter and the clinking of coffee cups as ideas flowed freely. Betty watched as barriers melted away, replaced by mutual respect and curiosity. A young boy named Tommy shared his passion for skateboarding, while Mrs. Jenkins, a retired seamstress, demonstrated intricate beadwork. These moments of connection illuminated the true essence of her vision. However, not everything proceeded smoothly. A sudden budget cut threatened to scale back the intergenerational activities, casting a shadow of doubt over Betty's efforts. Determined not to let adversity derail her project, she rallied the community, organizing fundraising events and reaching out to local businesses for support. Her unwavering commitment inspired others to step forward, showcasing the resilience that Maplewood was renowned for. On the eve of the fair, as Betty walked through the vibrant stalls adorned with colorful banners and twinkling lights, she felt a profound sense of accomplishment. The intergenerational section was alive with activity. Children giggled as they painted alongside their grandparents, and elders shared stories that captivated the younger audience. The harmonious blend of past and present created an atmosphere of unity and hope. As the sun set, casting a golden glow over Maplewood, Betty stood back to take in the scene. The challenges she had faced now seemed distant, overshadowed by the joy and connections that blossomed before her eyes. In that moment, she realized that her efforts had not only strengthened the community, but had also rekindled her own spirit, reaffirming that the legacy of the 70s and 80s continued to thrive through the hearts of those who cherished them. As night fully descended, the fair reached its peak with the unveiling of the Intergenerational mural, a collaborative masterpiece crafted by hands young and old. Betty had envisioned this moment for weeks, and now, under the twinkling fairy lights, the mural stood as a vibrant testament to Maplewood's unity. Families gathered around, admiring the colorful depiction of the town's history, intertwined with dreams for the future. Children added final touches alongside their grandparents, their laughter echoing through the crisp evening air. The culmination of the day's efforts was marked by a heartfelt performance. Local bands from different eras took the stage, blending classic hits from the 70s and 80s with contemporary tunes. Dances that mirrored past decades fused seamlessly with modern moves, symbolizing the harmonious blend of generations. As the music swelled, Betty felt tears of joy welling up. The barriers she had worked so hard to dismantle were now irreparable, replaced by bonds that promised lasting connections. Amidst the celebrations, Betty received heartfelt thanks from numerous community members. Mrs. Jenkins hugged Tommy, expressing how proud she was of their new friendship. Teenagers shared stories of learning patience and wisdom from their elders, while seniors discovered newfound interests through technology workshops. It was clear that the fair had ignited a lasting movement of collaboration and respect. As the festivities wound down, Betty stood once more at the center of the fairgrounds, the mural glowing under the moonlight. She reflected on the journey, from the initial excitement and inevitable setbacks to the triumphant culmination of a united community. The challenges had tested her resolve, but the unwavering support and collective spirit of Maplewood had turned obstacles into opportunities. In the quiet that followed, Betty realized that the true legacy of the fair was not just the events or the mural, but the enduring connections forged between generations. Maplewood had become a beacon of how embracing diversity and fostering mutual understanding could transform a community. As she watched families depart, hearts full and spirits lifted, Betty knew that the seeds she had planted would continue to grow, ensuring that the essence of the 70s and 80s, resilience, creativity, and unity, would flourish for generations to come.